I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Things are about to start getting very, very real in Fulton County, Georgia, in the District Attorney Fani Willis's criminal investigation into Donald Trump's 2020 election interference in Georgia. You will recall our prior reporting where Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis informed the sheriff of Fulton County to prepare for high-profile indictments during the fourth term of the Fulton County Superior Court for the year, which will begin on July 11th, 2023, and conclude on September 1, 2023. That was a letter sent back on April 24th, 2023 to the sheriff of Fulton County, Patrick Labatt. Here's the letter right here just so you can see it and to remind you. Dear Sheriff Labatt, my staff and I greatly appreciate the efforts you have made to increase security at the Fulton County Courthouse. While these efforts have addressed security needs related to several high-profile trials and investigations, as we have discussed, the need for vigilance will increase. And again, this is referring to the indictments to come of Donald Trump and his co-conspirators. In the near future, I will announce charging decisions resulting from the investigation my office has been conducting into possible criminal interference in the administration of Georgia's 2020 general election. I am providing this letter to bring to your attention the need for heightened security and preparedness in coming months due to this pending announcement. Open source intelligence has indicated the announcement of decisions in this case may provoke a significant public reaction. We have seen in recent years that some may go outside of public expressions of opinion that are protected by the First Amendment to engage in acts of violence that will endanger the safety of our community. As leaders, it is incumbent upon us to be prepared. This is key, I will be announcing charging decisions resulting from this investigation during Fulton County Superior Court's fourth term of court, which will begin on July 11th, 2023, and conclude on September 1, 2023. Please accept this correspondence as notice to allow you sufficient time to prepare the sheriff's office and coordinate with local, state, and federal officials and agencies to ensure that our law enforcement community is ready to protect the public. As your strategic planning process begins, collaboration with my investigative leadership team is vital. My team will be in touch in coming days to set up the appropriate conversations. My staff and I are grateful for the work of the sheriff's office in ensuring the safety of the public during this time. Thank you for your efforts, and we look forward to working with you. Additionally, we reported here on the MeidasTouch Network about another memo sent by Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis to the Superior Court judges, as well as to her own internal staff at the District Attorney's office and other government officials in the area to discuss working remotely during the period of July 31 through the first or second week of August. All of this data combined is why we believe ultimately Donald Trump will be indicted along with his co-conspirators in that late July, maybe up to the third week of August time period. Want to bring some attention to a reporter who's been very good about reporting on what's been going on with the Fulton County grand jury. She's been at the location, and I follow her for some of the coverage to kind of learn some of the ins and outs of what she's physically observing there. Her name is Anna Bauer. You can give her a follow. This is what she stated. On July 9th, she says, a new term of the court begins in Fulton County this week. That's consistent with the letter, the fourth term it's called, which means we're back on indictment watch in Georgia. 2 grand juries are set to be seated on Tuesday. One or both of those grand juries could return indictments related to District Attorney Fani Willis's 2020 election probe. Grand jury matters, including grand jury selection, are usually shrouded in secrecy, but Georgia law is pretty quirky when it comes to grand jury procedures. On Tuesday, media will be allowed to cover the grand jury selection process. I'll be there to cover it for at Lawfare. Once the new grand juries are impaneled, don't expect to hear indictment news right away. The grand juries won't begin hearing cases until the week of July 17th, and District Attorney Willis has signaled that she could announce charging decisions sometime between July 31 and August 18th. So all consistent with our prior reporting and all of the letters you've seen and data you've seen from Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. Now, you'll recall that there was a two-step process used by the District Attorney in Fulton County. The first one was to use a special grand jury for investigative purposes and to ultimately prepare a report recommending criminal indictments. Indeed, after many, many months of presenting evidence and dozens of witnesses, the special grand jury, to which the DA presented all of this evidence, prepared a report and recommendations. Most of that remains currently under seal. Some portions were unsealed, but giving us very little indication of what went down. And that report can then be utilized by the grand jury in addition to other information as well, and other evidence and other witnesses that Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis may present to the grand jury. But technically, she doesn't have to present any witnesses. She could just show them the new grand jury the report and ask to indict on that basis. But I expect new witnesses to be presented to the Fulton County grand jury that actually did not go before the special grand jury. So Fani Willis hasn't been using this time to do nothing. In fact, Fulton County District Attorney's Office has been hard at work, and we've reported here as well that numerous of the so-called fake electors, these MAGA Republicans in the state of Georgia who affix their names to fraudulent electoral certificates claiming that Donald Trump won the 2020 election in Georgia when President Biden won, and the Secretary of State certified the election for President Biden and submitted that to former Vice President Pence, then Vice President Pence. The MAGA Republicans, as part of an overall conspiracy by Donald Trump and Giuliani and others in Donald Trump's inner circle, they were presenting these fake electoral certificates and slates because they wanted Pence to count the fake ones. That's a major part of Special Counsel Jack Smith's criminal investigation. It's a major part of Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis's criminal investigation. And during the time period between the special purpose grand jury report and the meeting of the grand jury, we know that Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis has been meeting with a bunch of these fake electors, who many of who have agreed to take immunity deals in order to tell on each other or to provide kind of full and complete information about what went down. In other words, Fani Willis has spent the time potentially, and we believe this from all of the data, flipping witnesses who didn't go before the special grand jury, who realize that if they don't cooperate, they are going to be indicted by the district attorney as co-conspirators of Donald Trump. So I do expect some of those additional witnesses to testify who haven't testified before the special grand jury. We also reported that one of the major tools that we expect Fani Willis to use are the very strong RICO laws in the state of Georgia. Georgia has an expansive RICO statute that allows charging broad conspiracies where there is kind of a concerted effort among a group of people to engage in criminal conduct. And in addition to even the criminal conduct in Georgia, under the Georgia RICO statute, part of showing the overall conspiracy of other crimes, you can actually show the criminal conduct that has taken place in other states as well to bring your RICO claims in Georgia. And so what we expect to see here, among many other counts against Donald Trump, is a RICO claim essentially charging Donald Trump for the conduct of all of his foot soldiers who engaged in criminal conduct, from the fake elector scheme to essentially stealing election data from local election offices to other criminal conduct. And that RICO statute, often used to prosecute gang leaders and mafia leaders. But here, that is how Donald Trump ultimately operates, kind of through codes and messages and through kind of intermediaries, and tries to say, hey, I didn't do anything about it. So we expect RICO to be a major part of the Fulton County District Attorney's prosecution. And also, I mentioned this idea of this theft of election data. I expect to see that in the Fulton County District Attorney's ultimate indictment. Remember what happened in Coffee County, Georgia? The head of the Coffee County Republican Party, a MAGA Republican, let in people working from the Trump campaign, forensic investigators who were hired, and basically turned over a ton of election data to the Trump campaign, ultimately making its way up to the very top so that data could be manipulated. There's like photos of the MAGA Republican head of the GOP of Coffee County, like taking pictures in the election office in Coffee County, Georgia. So I expect there to be charges related to that, and through RICO all the way up to Donald Trump. So things are going to start getting very busy and noisy again in Fulton County, Georgia. I think the shot clock, if you will, is now going to be turned on. Indictment watch is back on in Fulton County, Georgia. Again, we haven't been talking about that much. Expect us to learn a lot more about witnesses going in. Yes, it's secret proceedings, but the media has done a good job reporting of people who have entered and exited the courthouse. Also, there have been leaks often from the people entering and exiting of who's testifying, and we'll get, I think, a additional stream of information there. And again, expect that July 31 to August 18 timeframe when we're going to see indictments. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers thanks to your support. Check us out at patreon.com. And wherever you get audio podcasts, subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast. Thank you so much and have an excellent day.
Hey Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram at MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.